Okay, this is Jeff Walker coming to you, Jeff Walker Books. Today we're going to discuss something a little other than my novels, but to plug it in, The Burning Fire Rises, The Mysterious World of Professor Dark, and His Shadow is ready for ARC reviews. So I've put up a, I put up a forum on my website for you to go and sign up and get an ARC. This has to be done before December 23rd. Short notice, I know. It's the only way I can get it in before then. And then maybe after, if I didn't get enough, I'll start another bout of it. But for right now, it's. I just want to get the books out there and see how that does. The Burning Fire Rises is on its way. It's all done. I just finished it maybe like a few days ago. So, hopefully we'll get some reviews going. For today, I'm going to talk about the spiraling down of franchise on TV and movies. Formally, I'm talking about Doctor Who and Star Wars and Marvel. Like the big three have gone all the way down. And I'll explain that that Doctor Who has changed too much for me, and I think it's going in a direction it shouldn't. We all thought that with David Tennant coming back, doing the specials, it was going to change it up a bit. No, nothing like that happened. I was aghast at how blatantly on the nose it was with all the message. I'm not against this stuff, but I'm like, you could have been a bit more subtle in putting it in there. And then this whole bi-generation thing where the Doctor split into two, and now we have I forget his name, but the new Black Doctor, and they've segregated them. Now, I'm sure this is like an arc that they're trying to explain some things that they wanted to explain. There's a rumor going around that when the Doctor was on trial in his sixth regeneration, the Valeyard was actually the Doctor in his, some sort of splinter thing. And I wish they had never done that either. I think that was another big mistake back in those days that I don't think they really thought much of it and just left it. And then they kept bringing it up in the new series. And I'm the one that, maybe we could just sort of destroy that. But now it's gotten so convoluted. They've destroyed the Doctor's back history by shoving in like this ridiculous notion that he's been here all along and that the Time Lords are all based on him. Doesn't make a lick of sense. Doesn't make a lick of sense whatsoever. The Timeless Children episode where this child falls and this lady experimented and kept killing this child over and over again. That was killing a child. Just so the kid would regenerate over and over and she could steal that. I wish that they had explained that in a different way. That the Doctor was not actually the timeless child, but his granddaughter, Susan Foreman, was. That would make more sense to me. That she was the timeless child. That he was rescuing her from being a subject of multiple experiments. So that would make more sense to me, that she was the timeless child, not the Doctor. And I wish that was the turn in the retcon that, they can go, oh, so that wasn't him after all. But unfortunately, they made it sound like the Doctor has been the Doctor all along. And that, like I said, it's gotten so messed up. They want to try to create this whole Doctor-verse. Why? I don't understand. Anyway, I'm not a fan of it. I wasn't a fan of Capaldi's era as well. So And then some of Matt Smith's too. I was kind of weaning off of it a bit. Just because I thought the writing was getting worse and worse and worse. And it was. It wasn't selling me on this. I really didn't care. And then it got too preachy by the end of it. It was just, I don't know. I just came for the fun of it. I know Doctor Who sometimes used to preach, or sometimes used to have like the little nitbits of what was going on in the day. But at the same time, at the end, it had to be fun. It had to be not on the nose, and kind of like thing, like the way they have it. So I'm not a fan. I pretty much think the Doctor's done. What would be best is to just end that franchise completely, give it a rest, and then reboot it again with this time a better start. They seem to think that that's going to happen with this new Black Doctor, that he's going to be the reboot. And as much as I want to like this stuff, I don't. When Whittaker came on as the female Doctor, I have no faults for her, but I think her character was just totally off. The writing was way off, way off. I didn't care for it. The companions were awful. I didn't care for them either. I thought it was just garbage. So I'm going to enjoy the classics for what they were. And in my time, I think it's done. It kind of ended with Matt Smith, I think. Yeah, I wasn't too happy about that. And then you've got the whole thing going on with Star Wars, where they've kind of destroyed it. There's just no going back now. It's kind of weird. They've overdone the Star Wars TV series. Kenobi was horrible, and it was just so sloppy writing there. People loved Andor for some reason. I wasn't a fan of it. I didn't care for it. Sure, it had to deal with the Empire and something other than Jedi, but it just wasn't the same. And then they had The Mandalorian, which was great for the first 2 seasons, and then they killed it in the third. It was just dragging into something that it shouldn't be. And I really wish they had just stuck with this bounty hunter attitude and have a better end goal for him. Grogu, obviously the Baby Yoda kid, had too much of a bigger stake in this. And then in Boba Fett, the Book of Boba Fett, they had to have the Mando come in to rescue that show, which it kind of did and kind of didn't, because they teased us with Luke Skywalker teaching Grogu, only to have him go back. And it was just like, what? And I think a lot of fans were hoping that Favreau would retcon that whole Rey situation, but they wouldn't. I knew they wouldn't do it. I knew they had to incorporate it. I knew it was part of the history and they had to do it now, so it's kind of destroyed that too. I didn't like the sequel trilogy. It didn't do it for me. I thought it was disgraceful how they ended Luke Skywalker and Leia. It was just pandering, really. When I was a kid, I used to watch The Return of the Jedi and all the other movies over and over again. But when I talk to my son about these movies, he doesn't want to watch them again. He saw it a couple of times and that was it. And he didn't want to keep watching them over and over again. Which shows how bad that story arc was. That he didn't want to sit down and watch this again and again and be in awe of this show. Or this, the Mandalorian first seasons, 1 and 2, my kids loved it. They watched it twice, 3 times actually, because they loved it so much. And then when they watched the third, they fell out of love with it. So they weren't happy with it. Neither was I, to be honest with you. It just wasn't the same. And they say there's a 4th one coming, but why? The actor gave up on it. Obviously, the writers gave up on it. I just think that it's just not hitting all the points. And then Ahsoka came out, which was just as disappointing. There's just so much disappointment happening in that franchise. It's killing me that I could have written a better series than that. I could have written a better movie than that. But I'm not in charge of that production. I'm not writing for them. So it's not my decision. It's certainly not me writing this stuff. Disney's just mishandling all of their properties. Doctor Who's now part of their property, which just explains that altogether. And then you've got Marvel, which has sunk after the Avengers. They tried to come up with some series, which, the one-to-one wasn't too bad, but the link to the movies is just, no, you can't do that. You can't be asking people to watch the TV series, then watch the movies, and then link that somehow. It doesn't work. It would be great if it did, and if you had people watching it from there to there, that would be great. But then you have to re-explain everything, which they don't, and that's why the Marvels bombed, because the sequel to Miss Marvel was just awful, because nobody understood where these characters were coming from. Nobody knew about them. A lot of them don't watch the Disney Channel, so they wouldn't know. So I think it's just poor strategy on their part. I think they need to stop pushing this message all so much, because it's just ruining everything. I have no qualms about this whole the women and being in movie. Women are in movies. Women are always in movies. I think it's just they have this, I don't know, it's like this attitude that they think all of mankind is trying to destroy them. Like, men are just evil and they should be destroyed. And it's like, oh my God, like, what happened here? There's been so much change happening in such a short time that people are getting bitter, and then people are starting to segregate again. And we're going backwards. We are going backwards. We're going backwards to a time that we shouldn't be going back to. We should be going forwards. And not trying to point fingers, but rather work as together holding hands. I think it's bizarre how the world has just started to turn on each other. And it's very dystopic. And we are living in a dystopian time. And let's not kid ourselves. This is dystopia. This is the future we didn't want. And here we are, living in it. What came out recently was Godzilla. A new Godzilla movie called Godzilla -1. And apparently it did very, very well. It didn't have politics. It didn't have, other than the World War that was going on during the film, during the time of that. But I'd like to see it at some point to see how it shapes up. And I like the idea that it's just sticking to the franchise idea, the core idea of the franchise. Monster comes in, destroys the city. Bing. There you go. If only other movies would keep to that track and keep to that mentality. But I mean, Doctor Who's just spiraling down out of control, and I don't think there's a way of getting it back. To be honest with you, I hope the ratings just keep sinking lower and lower and lower. There's nothing there to keep it going. Nothing. It's out of steam. It's out of gas. It's done. And honestly, I wish to gosh that he had finished on the 13th or the 12th Doctor. Because to me, I think there should have been a cutoff point, which they had said there were 12 regenerations. And that should have been it. That should have been done and over. End it, then reboot it. I'd like to see that done for any movies that may come up. That if you start a movie franchise of the Doctor Who, that you start at the very first Doctor again, and then just kick it off from there. I think that would work. Yeah, so Doctor Who, it's been nice knowing you. You're dead. I think it stopped at, like I said, the end of whatever his names was, the 11th Doctor, because I really Capaldi didn't do it for me. And the end of that, Matt Smith. That's Matt Smith was the 11th Doctor. Matt Smith, he's pretty okay, but I think by the end of it, I was tired of him. I was just, the writing was awful. It didn't do a thing, and didn't make any sense after that. It just didn't. When the 50th anniversary special came out, and then the War Doctor was introduced, I wasn't sure how to feel about that, but I did like the War Doctor. I think it was a great thing. And if you ever hear the audio dramas of it, it's brilliant stuff. Better writing than the show. Oh my God, the writing on that is so much better. All the audio dramas are better on there. I don't know why they don't take the audio drama guys and put them on the TV show and write that show. Mainly because they're a separate company. Maybe because they have better quality. Maybe because that's where all the good writers are going instead of the TV, because I'm sure there's politics in there. But I wish there was a War Doctor TV show only from that point on. It would be a shame that they didn't do it. But Paul McGann, he could probably come step back on the role, but I think it's, like I said, that ship has sailed. They keep talking about other spin-off shows, and I'm like going, oh my gosh, no. You can't keep doing this. It's going to ruin the franchise, and it already has. It's gone. It's done. I'm not interested anymore. And I wonder if this is their agenda, is to kill franchises that fans love. Why? Why would you do this? Why would you try to kill franchises that pumped money into your companies, your toy productions, everything that was collectible? There's something going on. I don't know what it is, but there's something going on where they don't want this to succeed, as if they're afraid of these franchises. It's weird to me. It's very, very bizarre. But I mean, maybe we should be looking to new things to build and new things to franchise. I think it's time that, they start looking into the books again, like science fiction novels and fantasy novels, all these books. There's so many to choose from. Like, we have so much out there. And then they go and pick the books that some like and some don't. It's bizarre to me. I mean, there's so many shows that you could be making based on these books, my books, or any other books. There's just so much out there, and they refuse to go and get something new. It's like they're afraid to try anything new. So it's kind of bizarre. All these franchises. Tron didn't do well. That was Disney again. They kind of sunk that one as well. I don't know what it is about Disney. They've got like the black touch of death on all these franchises. I think they should stop. I think they should be worried about their own in-house stuff. But yeah, this is just a rant, I guess, more. But I'm thinking that this is the end of the franchises. It really, truly is. I can't love Star Wars the way I did before. I can't love Doctor Who the way I did before. I wasn't really more of a Marvel fan. I mean, Marvel, you only have so many heroes you can love. But then DC, they've got a lot of good characters they haven't explored yet. I'm surprised they haven't done the Milestone characters. They're all some black heroes, they have diverse stuff too. Why don't they focus more on that? Why are they only focusing on like the mainstays, Batman? Keep Batman as he is. Like, they keep trying to change them. They keep trying to modernize them. It's like, we love these characters for who they are and what they are. If you keep changing them, we're going to not read them. We're not going to not go to these movies. If you keep changing if it's not broke, don't change it. It just seems to be the motto. But they seem to want to break that motto for some reason. And now this is where we are. We're in shambles. All these franchises are in shambles, sinking rocks. Why? It shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen at all. But anyway, that's where I'm at. So, I mean, yeah, I'm not like the Doctor Who specials weren't anything terrific. I thought for sure that the toy maker would be integral in all the specials, but it wasn't. He wasn't. He was only in one, and when he was a lousy villain to him in the finale. I mean, it was just like it was rushed. There was no progression. He was just there, and then he was gone, and then he split the Doctor into two. Well, he didn't. The Doctor just split into two for some reason, which didn't make any more sense. Again, like I said, the writers are going, like Russell T Davies says that they're going in a more fantasy role. I'm like going, like, it's just like, why? Why are you here? Why are you still doing this? It's like they want to go back and destroy the things that people loved and get rid of them so they don't have to deal with them ever again. I think it's time to just rest these playthings. All of them need a rest. And I said, if Star Wars ever wanted to restart, I would take it place 1,000 years ahead of where it was before, and just not mention, or just have it that they died out and now it's beginning again, kind of like thing that the Jedi and the Sith have restarted again. Would work, might not. That's just how it goes. So anyway, thank you for listening to my rant about this, because that's pretty much what it is. I just get so disappointed at some of these shows that come out, and they're just awful and poorly written, and it's frustrating to me as a writer. I just sit there and go, I could have written that better. It's like, I want one time to say that was amazing writing. That was, on point. And I can't say that anymore because there's nothing there. It's like, there's like nothing. They're drawing on nothing anymore. But anyway, as I said, as I'm talking now, it's like December 18th, 19th. On December 31st, no, yes, I'm going to be on a podcast with a group of writers, and we're going to be discussing books, space operas, and that sort of thing. And I can't wait. I love to discuss this stuff. I love to be on camera for the first time with another group of people other than myself. So I'm looking forward to that, discussing books, maybe pitching my own. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But I hope that you come and join. And yeah, I'd love to discuss with other authors. I feel so isolated in my field here, because I'm just like all alone out here. But yeah, that's where I'm at now. I hope you enjoyed this video. If not, let me know. Comments, always the comments. I thank people for talking to me when I was at my low, and it gets to you once in a while. I get it. It gets to you, and I do thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. Writing is what I do, and science fiction is what I do. And lately there's been somebody came on to review my reviews and kind of bombed it with negative comments. And it was really personal, and I didn't enjoy that. And I understand that it was not, like, it was just a fake profile that came on to do that. Maybe because I went on Reddit one time and said something, I don't know. But I've heard a lot of backlash. That was one writer who came on and did fake profiles to like badmouth other authors. which now has become a total scandal in its own. And then I don't mind getting reviews. I just want reviews not personally attacking my character. That to me is bad. Just focus on the books. Don't talk about, well, I can't tell you when and what not to write. It hurt. And I think I had a bit of an ego bashing, but that's fine. For every one bad, there's always a good, right? That's how it goes. There's always actually 10 good, one bad. But I'm learning. I am still in the process. The books are getting better, in my opinion. Like I said, I've just launched the first book of Professor Darkham's Shadow. This will be their first full novel, which again, I had to break up because it was just too much. And I said this is a full novel, but it is. It's part one of a full novel. It's over 75,000 words. That's a full novel. I have to go in increments because I can't stay focused for too long. I've got a lot going in my life, and I need to break these up. When the other part is done, then I will combine it into one book, and then I'll put it out for print. But if you want to tell me if you like the book and you think it's good enough to be out in print, let me know. Just let me know, because I'll do it. I'll probably, if you get enough people to say, yeah, put it out in print, man, I'll do that. But if you can wait for book 2, which whenever it gets done, like I said, it takes a while for me to get into this because I've got so many other things on my plate. So I hope you enjoy the book that's coming on March 30th, 2024. The ARC sign-up sheet is on my website. You just have to click on the image of Professor Dark and Miss Shadows, The Burning Fire Rises image on there. And if you sign up or email me to get a copy request, I'll be gladly to do it. I just hope that I hope that my books continue to flourish. I'm out of some of the competitions. I'm not in the speculative fiction SPSF 3 anymore, and I'm not in the, oh god, how do you say it, the NICS independent indie, what is it, novella competition. That my other book got reviewed, but it didn't get into the finales. And then I've got another one that's up on what is it called, Web Archive. And it's the Indie Ink Awards, and mine's up for a few books. One called It Makes Me Thirsty or Hungry, which I don't understand that, and another one is Light Read, which when I saw that it was The Jungle Planet is a light read, I went, truly a light read isn't like I didn't think it was, but seems more heavy than I thought. But anyway, why am I to argue? I hope you go and vote for those. Sure. I'll take anything at this point, right? Pardon me. And so if I don't see you again, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and by the way, Happy Holidays to the rest that celebrate this season. Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, what is it, Ramadan, I think, or something. I don't know. But have a very happy holidays for yourselves, and we'll see you in the new year. Maybe I'll have an outlook for my new year, like I did last year. I put on my outlook for what's going to happen in the new year. So until then, thank you, and look for me online in the online chat for space operas. All right, thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.